So this would be about how do you do classification in big databases with AI, right? So there are a few challenges here. When you try to do classification with AI, it gets autonomous, consistent, and scalable, versus if you do it against thousands of records, it can start to become unreliable, right? The same process, if you apply to a big number of records, the result might be different. For sure, will be different. So then, it can become unreliable. It can be time consuming, and it could also become expensive because with very large data set, AI can start to become very expensive. Now, we have a use case here from one of our customers where the process required us to select the right HS codes for very big lists of products. So they are importing hundreds of thousands of products. For each of these products, we had to create a bigger process, creating descriptions, creating images, and so on. But part of that process was also defining HS codes. So for those who don't know really what HS code means, is when you import a product from outside Europe into Europe, you need to define the right category to report that product, the paperwork towards the government. All right. So in order to do that, you have a list of product codes which are created on chapters, subheaders, headers, and so on. But in total, you have around 50,000 different HS codes. So then trying to ask the AI to select the right one into that 50,000 records, you could do that with a very big model, with a big window, but at the same time, it would become very expensive. So in order to avoid that, we created a different process thinking about that in Make, right? So first we tried, can we put everything into like a vector database and say, hey, let's run through that vector search and try to determine this HS code. So this process is generally called RAG. And then based on the results in our testing, even by using a vector database, this still was not enough because, again, the data set is too big. So then we had to implement a process where we go in a step-by-step process. So practically, we're first asking the AI to define a search term on how to really determine the HS code. And then we use that term to go and search progressively into the vector data store. And then we end up with the result. And just by applying 4 different searches in the vector data store, our results became almost close to 95%. But then we wanted to go even further. So in order to really determine that better, what we did, we added more results from each vector search. And then we asked the AI to go and I see a block here. I'm not sure why that's there. It's probably an error. So we add an AI reasoning after each vector search, right? So instead of just getting one category, we ask for, give me 3 categories. So then the AI will respond with the right category. We limit that response within those 3 categories, and so on. We do the filters going forward, right? And every time we do for the progressive search, we limit the search by querying into the vector database with the previous search. So by applying this, we got to a 99, I would say 99 point something accuracy in getting that result out of the vector database. One small note here, keep in mind when you use a database, a vector database, always use one that allows you to have metadata filter on it, so you can really limit sometimes the records that you want to get based on the different filters that you have, and also you might want to limit access at some point by having these meta filters and so on. So in our case, we use Pinecone, but you can use PG Vector on top of Supabase or whichever other custom or SaaS platform you might like for that. Okay. Also, a very nice thing when you work with AI, and this is maybe one of our tips, and it's I found out from Sebastian it's going to be released very soon officially. So there's a new feature which is called module mapping. So practically, when you want to pass information towards an AI, so this is part of the bigger process for this HS code. We have a module here, 22, which is doing a research on the internet related to this product, and this Gina AI search would map it with the module mapping. As you can see here on the buttons part of the screen, there's 22, and there's no object mapped after. So practically with whatever that module will output, all that value of the module will be automatically put into the next module in this case.